Hey, this is Carlos Cavallo. Welcome back to the video podcast. And today we're going to give you some more of these secrets about how to unlock a guy's heart. Today's is pretty cool. We're going to talk about 7 dirty text messages that you must send him tonight. You see, texting guys isn't difficult if you know what it is we respond to. The problem is, it's when women assume that guys only want to hear you talk dirty to us or text dirty to us. It's not as simple as just throwing in a few naughty words and hoping that's going to turn them on. First of all, what should a good text do? First and foremost, a good text should keep his attention. You got to keep our attention. Contrary to popular belief, most guys will not drop you like first period French for the next hussy that comes along. However, you do want to keep his attention on you for as long as possible. This will give him a chance to crystallize you into his mind. The more he thinks about you, the more deeply set in his thinking you are. And that means you're the first woman that will make him think of doing the naughty. Another thing a good text should do is it should keep him thinking about you. Yeah, even after he's done reading it, your text should stick in his mind along with his thoughts of you. You want him fascinated and obsessed for as long as possible when you're not around. A good text should make him text you back. Yeah, it's actually an important thing to get a reply text from him, even if it's pretty instinctive that you want one. It shows that you've managed to bend him to your will, at least a little bit, and you've started up his curiosity, because if he isn't replying to you, what's he up to? A good text should make him a little turned on. Let's face it, a man's sex drive is the expressway to his heart. Knowing what to text and how to text him into a little arousal is a good way to light the fires of passion in him. Dirty text messages are the perfect way to do this. So, how do you send a naughty text to a guy? You don't want to seem slutty or desperate, but you know you have to make a mark on him before some other woman comes along who knows how to spark his desire. Well, I'm going to share 7 dirty text messages with you, and these aren't the ones that you're going to read about in any of the fluffy fashion magazines and any of that stuff either. I want to give you messages that will really have an impact on him and an emotional impact. Okay? Now, I want to caution you to not use the text that you typically see in articles on other sites, especially the big name sites, which I'm not going to name here. Many of them are created by writers who have no experience in coaching women to success in their relationships. At least not like I do. They just write these things and make them up. All right? Dirty text message tip number 1 is don't go overboard. You don't want to send him too many naughty texts at once. You're going to lose your impact on him, and you're going to risk boring him. What usually happens is that a woman will send something a little bit dirty in text, and she gets a response from him. She assumes then that she's got him hooked, so she keeps going with the same texting thread, only to eventually bore the hell out of him. You have to make any dirty text feel like it's going somewhere with him. All right, this is really critical. Make it feel like it's actually going somewhere and it's not just a tease. This is the critical difference in the text messages that work versus the ones that fail with the guys, and almost no women know about it. If you send dirty text to a guy and then keep that pattern without it leading to the hope of meeting up with you, it's going to feel like he's being teased, and you don't want him to think of you as a tease, right? I'll give you a great way to do this in just a minute, by the way. Dirty text message tip number 2, don't go too dirty. Some women think that because men have such sexually driven minds that we must really like raunchy talk. Well, there's really only one place where we enjoy that, and that's in the bedroom. And it's not nearly as dirty as you might think. Texting is different, so you want to use the right words to get them excited. Men respond to certain words more intensely than others, and these words are not the ones that women typically use. It's not in your vocabulary, which is why so many women scare men off with their texts instead of drawing them in closer. Naughty text tip number 3, get him curious but don't give away the ending. Look, human beings love to be teased, but if there's just no fun if you don't leave anything to his imagination. Now, one of the mistakes I've seen is when the dirty text message conversation gets carried away and it crosses over into X-rated talk, like I was talking about before. And guys might seem like we want this, but we don't want this. As crude as we might seem and some of the crude things we say, we like some things being held back to our imagination. And we don't necessarily want to hear you using filthy talk to explain it to us, okay? Yes, this even goes for naughty pictures, which leads us to this last tip. Dirty texting tip number 4, nothing naked. I know, some guys really like the thought of getting a woman to send a nude selfie. It's like an accomplishment of some kind. Some of them are pretty blunt about it. Hey, send me a picture of your boobs. And some are not so blunt, right? Like, what you wearing? Which is leading me towards... an eventual send me a picture of you. Either way, the goal is the same. We want to see some skin. It's not that we're foul, lusting creatures of perversion, you know. We just can't help it. We are visual creatures, and we'd like to get a gander at the goods. But you can't let yourself get carried away. The more approval he seems to give you, the more tempting it is for you to start sexting, actually, wild images to him. Don't go there. Keep it to his imagination. Nothing naked should happen on your cell phone. Okay? It's too risky, and no matter what you might think from his cajoling and begging, he'll be much happier if the payoff is left to his imagination for now. And yes, even if he sends you a dick pic, don't go there. So now let's jump into the quick messages, the actual text messages, the 7 dirty text messages you can use to dirty text him. Not so dirty, but they work out just the same. Dirty text number 1 is the fascinator. Remember how I told you that you need to text him into curiosity? Well, one of the best strategies to get a man thinking about you all day long is to send something like this first thing in the morning. I had the weirdest dream about you last night. Now, of course, he's going to want to know what it was about and if it was sexual. Whenever, whatever it is he texts you back, you simply say, I'll give you the details when we get back together again. Boom. Right there. Done. Fascination has been installed, and he will now be thinking of you all week long. You see, you only need to plant the suggestion now and again to let him start fantasizing about you. Sexy text number 2 is what I call the teaser. Now, every so often, a well-placed tease text is fine to start some naughty talk. The key here is to give him something fun and funny without being too mean about the haha, just kidding part, because it feels like you pulled the rug out from under him when you do that. Here's an example. My hands are down there right now. Now, of course, he's going to assume what? You're doing something dirty. And he's going to send something back to this, whatever it is. He won't be able to resist. He'll be like, oh, really? Tell me more. Then you nicely bust his bubble with this reply. In the bottom of my closet, rearranging all my shoes. This is work. Now, you got to remember not to carry it too far before you let him in on the joke. And you might even send him a consolation prize text. And next, naughty text number 3 is, of course, the consolation prize. If you do tease him a little bit, or if you just want to end the conversation on a very sexy message, you simply send him this one thing. Don't worry, you'll get yours. Now, you haven't said what yours is. You've left it completely to his imagination, and that's fine. You'll just reassure him. You just basically reassure him that he's not going to be left hanging out there forever, and that's all he really needs. He won't be eternally teased, and that's actually really important. Now, of course, this will leave him deliciously tempted and wondering what his will be. And, of course, when he gets it. Dirty text message number 4 is what I call the neighbors, or the dirty neighbors, I guess you could call this. Sometimes the best way to bridge into a naughty text conversation is to use fictional neighbors. Try this one. Hey, my neighbors are at it again. Must be newlyweds. Again, bringing up sex indirectly is the best way to do it in text. And since you don't want to make sure you don't carry it too far, dirty text message number 5 is the too bad. Now, this one's really awesome. This one is by far one of the best I've got for you. You can use this one opening with a bunch of different add-ons. The way it works is you just start out your message by saying, too bad. Let me give you an example here. Too bad you're not here right now. Now, the way this works in a guy is that it makes us feel challenged on a certain level. It's like something we could actually change. We could actually take that as a challenge and do something about it. And we'll start throwing out ways of overcoming the obstacle of too bad. He might respond with, well, I could be over there in about 20 minutes. It does work, trust me. I'll be right over, just like the Roadrunner. Or you could come over for a late night tuck-in. You're going to get response from him on this. And the cool part is that this opening on your text gives a lot of room to challenge him. It's a bit like, it's like the princess laying out the quest for the knight to overcome. And it works like crazy. Dirty text message number 6 is the hot shower. And this one is steamy. Yeah, the pun was intended. You send him this. Wow, just took a shower. That was so hot I couldn't stop myself. Again, you're teasing at what might have happened in that shower, and he'll take that ball and run with it. He'll be guessing what it was that you couldn't stop yourself from doing. Just play up the details of your self-cleansing session, like where you put the soap, how you had to lather it up. Whew, I'm getting kind of excited talking about this. Let's move on. Use this naughty text message number 7. I'm finishing up on a really high note here because this one is really good. I call it the girl kiss. Now, this one is super naughty, so use it with care because it will drive him nuts. This is what it is. Hey, would you be mad if I kissed a girl? Now, whether or not you have done this, it doesn't matter. It also doesn't matter if you're not the type of girl to say this sort of thing. Guys go crazy with desire when they think there's a chance of girl-on-girl action. Even if it's just hinted at and we know it's not going to happen, it's still pretty cool to us. And it can just be in our imagination, and sometimes that's all we really want. But it's enough to get them hot and bothered for days. And you can always follow up later with, not that I have, I was just wondering if you'd be jealous of losing me. Okay, so there's a little bit of a backpedal built into that one. This one is a real fire starter, so use it with caution. So there you go. 7 dirty but not so raunchy text messages you can use on a man. These work so well because they use the most powerful sexual stimulant there is, imagination. Guys don't need the vivid details. We don't need the heavy swearing. We don't even need X-rated stuff to get us excited. Just let us know that you're thinking about sex and you're willing to play with it. And that's enough to get almost any man turned on and fantasizing about you. And of course, this is just the tip of the tantalizing iceberg of desire that you can create in his heart and his mind. And what you can do is go on over to, of course, datingadviceguru.com/irresistible. And you'll get the A to Z done-for-you guide that will drive him even wilder with white-hot desire that will absolutely consume him. Learn how to make him feel irresistible desire. Going over to datingadviceguru.com/irresistible. And I'll be talking again next week. Use those texts and tell me what you got because I know they're going to work for you. Talking to you again soon. This is Carlos Cavallo.